Forgiveness doesn't always require an apology. This video unveils Napoleon Hill's groundbreaking take on silent forgiveness, a powerful tool for self-healing and personal growth. There are wounds that never receive closure, apologies that never arrive, words left unspoken. Yet somehow, people move forward. They rise above the pain, not by confrontation, not by demanding justice, but through something almost mystical: silent forgiveness. It's an act of power, not weakness. And according to Napoleon Hill, it is one of the most transformative forces a person can harness on their journey toward success. In a world that thrives on noise, conflict, and ego, silent forgiveness feels like an act of rebellion. We're conditioned to expect resolution through confrontation, but Hill reminds us that true power lies not in controlling others, but in mastering ourselves. Silent forgiveness isn't about excusing someone's behavior. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment, from the emotional debt that robs us of our peace, our focus, and ultimately, our success. Think about the energy it takes to hold a grudge. The hours spent reliving betrayal, the mental loops replaying what should have been said, the emotional weight carried like a stone in the heart. Now imagine all that energy redirected toward your vision, your goals, your self-mastery. Napoleon Hill taught that our thoughts are the seeds of our reality. When we allow bitterness to fester in our minds, we cultivate a harvest of limitation. But forgiveness, even unspoken, clears the field for abundance. Hill's philosophy isn't abstract. It's rooted in practical self-discipline. He believed that resentment clouds the mind, disrupts our ability to concentrate, and ultimately distances us from the success we desire. Silent forgiveness, then, is not about the other person. It's a strategy for inner clarity. When we forgive in silence, we send a signal to our subconscious that we are no longer bound by the past. We declare that our energy is too valuable to waste on wounds we cannot change. In his classic work, Think and Grow Rich, Hill emphasized the power of controlled emotions. He believed that emotional control is essential to mastering the mind. When anger and resentment take hold, they blur our decision-making, distort our perspective, and sabotage our ability to persist. Silent forgiveness is not a passive act. It is the conscious choice to rise above the emotional noise and reclaim control of our mental faculties. There's another dimension here. Silent forgiveness aligns with the principle of autosuggestion. Every thought we dwell upon imprints itself into the subconscious. If we continuously revisit hurt and betrayal, we feed those experiences into our internal programming. But if we silently forgive, we are programming ourselves with strength, peace, and dignity. We're telling our subconscious, I am not a victim. I am the master of my fate. I choose freedom. Hill often spoke of definiteness of purpose. To achieve great things, one must know what they want and be willing to pursue it relentlessly. But it is nearly impossible to remain definite in purpose when the mind is divided by old emotional debts. Silent forgiveness unifies the mind. It creates harmony between the conscious desire for success and the subconscious need for emotional resolution. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It doesn't mean tolerating abuse. It doesn't even mean you need to speak to the person who hurt you. It simply means you choose not to carry their mistake with you any longer. You stop giving them space in your mind, stop letting them influence your mood, your motivation, your momentum. Silent forgiveness is an act of mental hygiene. It's cleaning out the psychological clutter so that clarity can reign. Hill believed in the law of attraction long before it became a mainstream concept. He taught that like attracts like, and that whatever we think about, we bring about. Holding on to resentment attracts more negativity. Forgiveness, especially when done in silence, shifts the frequency of our thoughts. It opens us up to better things, better people, better opportunities. The world reflects our inner state. When we are free within, we become magnetic to everything that resonates with that freedom. There is a rare kind of strength in forgiving silently. It's not the strength of shouting or proving a point. It's the quiet, enduring power of emotional independence. When you forgive silently, you are saying, I am no longer defined by what happened to me. I define myself. My past does not hold the pen. My will does. This is the kind of mental fortitude that Hill believed separated the merely ambitious from the truly successful. In the realm of personal growth, one of the most overlooked steps is healing. People chase goals, status, and money without realizing that unresolved pain will sabotage them every step of the way. Silent forgiveness is one of the most efficient forms of healing. It doesn't require ceremony or recognition. It's done in solitude, in quiet reflection, where real transformation happens. Napoleon Hill warned against the habit of drifting, being pulled by life's current instead of steering with intention. Resentment causes drifting. It keeps the mind anchored to the past, unable to set sail toward new possibilities. Silent forgiveness cuts the anchor. It restores agency. It says, I release this not because they deserve it, but because I do. This practice also cultivates emotional intelligence. It teaches restraint. When we forgive silently, we resist the urge to lash out, to prove our righteousness. We learn to observe our emotions rather than be ruled by them. We grow in patience, maturity, and grace. Hill believed that these qualities weren't just nice to have. They were necessary traits of leaders, visionaries, and builders of legacy. There's a kind of poetry in silent forgiveness. It's the poetry of letting go without fanfare, of healing without needing witnesses. It's an intimate conversation with the self, a declaration that peace matters more than pride. And in the quiet of that decision, new doors open. Mental space becomes available. Creativity awakens. Focus returns. Motivation flows again. Imagine how much farther you could go if your mind wasn't burdened by old pain. Imagine how clearly you could think if your energy wasn't consumed by grudges. This is the promise of silent forgiveness. It's not a one-time act. It's a discipline, a daily choice to release what no longer serves, to protect your inner world like sacred ground, to guard your mind like the gatekeeper of a great treasure, because that's exactly what it is. Hill's legacy is a blueprint for greatness, but buried between the lines of financial wisdom and personal achievement is this simple truth. You cannot climb the mountain of success with a heart full of poison. You must empty it. You must purify your thoughts. And sometimes that purification begins with silent forgiveness. The people who wronged you may never know they were forgiven. That's okay. This isn't about them. It's about you becoming who you were meant to be, about breaking free from the invisible prison of bitterness, about reclaiming your energy, your focus, your future. So, if there is someone who hurt you, betrayed you, disappointed you, and you're still carrying the weight, let today be the day you release it. Not for their sake, but for your own. Do it quietly. Do it firmly. Let the silence speak your strength. Forgive not because it changes the past, but because it transforms your future. That is the secret Hill knew. The success you seek is not just in what you achieve. It's in who you become. And becoming someone great often begins with letting go of what no longer deserves space in your heart. Silent forgiveness is your path to peace, to power, to purpose. And now, the rest is up to you. The silence is waiting.